Alright, what's up guys? Thomas here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how talking to camera can improve your social confidence. Now, this is a side effect of learning how to talk to camera. Most of us, when we want to learn how to talk to camera, we're not doing it to improve our social confidence. We're usually doing it literally to get better at delivering specifically on camera. But for me, there was always something kind of strange about, oh, if I just get good at talking to camera and then I'm really good at doing this thing. So when there's a camera on me, I can really deliver and be confident and express my ideas. But then what would happen if I just met somebody and then I wasn't the same person? So I was really good at talking to camera, but then I wasn't good at talking to people. I really hated that idea. And I thought, oh my God, is this going to be some weird skill set where I'm going to get really good at talking to camera, and then when I actually meet people, I might be awkward, or I might be not good at communicating, or I might just freeze up. But what I found personally in my journey is that talking to camera has helped me a lot socially, and it's really boosted my own social abilities, my general communication skills, and my social confidence. And when I started doing my talking to camera course, the 30-day challenge, the thing that really made me feel like this really works with a lot of the members also reporting in that learning to talk to camera has helped them with work meetings. It's helped them talk better on Zoom. It's boosted their general social confidence, and even their self-worth, their feelings about themselves have improved. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, we're definitely onto something here. So in this video, I wanted to extrapolate that a little bit and talk about the 3 ways that talking to camera can boost your social confidence and how it actually does that. So the first way is by talking to camera, you are practicing essentially your ability to output. So you're practicing being able to talk and keep talking. That's one of the best things about just setting up your phone, pressing record, and just talking for 10 minutes. You are able to just keep going. You're able to keep talking, and new things come to your mind, and you keep saying them. How does this translate into a social context? Well, obviously, if you're just somebody who just keeps talking and doesn't listen or doesn't react to the other person, it's not a good thing, right? That's like a terrible social skill. However, I think a lot of people, or this is kind of a hunch I have, a lot of people actually, that's what they have social anxiety about. So maybe a socially anxious person, instead of having the problem of talking too much, they would maybe ask a lot of questions so they don't have to talk. Or maybe they would kind of give 1 or 2 word answers, and then let's say the group's attention is on them, 5 people looking at them, expecting a story or expecting, something, that's when they would really freeze up. And so having the ability to talk to camera and just keep going really improves your ability to talk in social situations and keep going. Meaning that you naturally get better at telling stories, you naturally get better at just being able to just talk, which is a huge skill set. And it does translate, it really does. So that's an amazing way that it can improve your social confidence. If you're able to stand there and just tell a story and output without necessarily looking to the other people in the group for validation or approval or a reaction that you can kind of bounce off of, then that's when it can really improve your social skills. A lot of the time in social situations, what would happen is that you're looking to the group or you're looking to the other person for kind of bits of validation that you can kind of keep talking if you are socially slightly anxious. So you might kind of say something, and maybe if you get a good reaction, you might say something else, and then you're kind of bouncing off the other person a lot. And once you get good at just kind of delivering to camera, you get way more used to just talking without getting a reaction. And that is actually much better than bouncing off other people, because it shows a center of internal validation rather than always reacting and bouncing off other people. So if you can get good at just delivering on camera for 5 minutes to 10 minutes, telling stories, talking about your life, explaining things, teaching things, all in different styles, in a different range of topics, then that is really going to translate socially as well. The second way is that you can, when you're talking to camera, you can practice intentions. So, which is kind of slightly harder and slightly weirder to do socially. So, in another video on my channel where it's called something to do with the number one key to talking to camera or something like that, I'll link the video in the description. I talk a lot about how your authenticity is valuable. That's like a really good mindset to have when you're talking to camera. So instead of necessarily being like, I'm going to be really confident and I'm going to be really awesome and I'm going to deliver to camera, instead of doing that before you talk to camera, it's kind of the opposite. So you might almost meditate or kind of think this thought for a minute or two. Be like, my authenticity is valuable. The value in what I have to say is my authenticity. And by doing that before you talk to camera, you might find that your delivery is more comfortable, more natural, more relaxed. You're able to just flow better rather than you kind of amping yourself up. And that then will naturally translate socially. So you kind of ingrain that habit of when you talk from an authentic place to camera. Then when you talk to people, it will help you talk from an authentic place. Another interesting mindset, or kind of almost like an affirmation you can have, is actually that other thing that I talked about. So if you have the mindset of everything I say is awesome, it's a bit more of a kind of like external thing. I think this is what a lot of my channel used to be like. I used to kind of pump myself up a bit more and be like, everything I say is awesome. And that kind of helped me get the confidence to talk on camera. I usually now stick more to the authentic one because that's just more of where I'm interested in right now. But it's definitely useful to get going, and in social situations too. If you kind of have that belief of everything that I say is awesome. It sounds almost ridiculous. It's a bit arrogant, whatever, bit kind of cocky. But if you struggle with being not confident, then actually taking on like the polar opposite mindset can actually be useful. It doesn't mean you have to stay here for your whole life, but it can be useful to kind of pull you out of that. So if you then start talking in a way where you really believe that everything that comes out of your mouth is awesome, and you can talk about this laptop that's sat in front of me on the desk, and this laptop is my favorite laptop ever. And it's like somehow you can talk about anything, but in a confident way, that can really translate into social situations as well. You might notice that the most charismatic people, they're not always talking about really interesting stuff. It's how they say things that becomes that kind of like magnetic confidence. So how you say things is really important. That might be in a very authentic way if you take on that first mindset, or if you take on this mindset of everything I say is awesome, it's more of this kind of like awesome, fun, cocky way that can also be a good thing to be around as well, and a good thing to kind of take on in yourself at certain points. So that's the second way. You can kind of practice embodying different mindsets and then practice doing that on camera, which can then also translate into social situations. Third and final way is it gives you a lot of self-awareness. So that's when watching your videos back on camera becomes super important. So you record yourself, you do whatever you're doing. If it's your first video, you're probably going to be a bit awkward. You're going to watch yourself back and be like, whoa, that's weird. I've never seen myself on camera before, especially like talking to myself. And you'll realize that you have certain tics or certain weird things about you or ways of expressing yourself. The thing that I had was I noticed I was really talking in a monotone the whole time. And I honestly think that was because in school, I was like a late developer. So it's funny, people on my channel always talk about me having like a Thor voice. When I was in school, I had a really high voice until I was like 16 years old or something. So people used to like poke fun at me and be like, hi, I'm Tom, kind of thing, right? And so I think as soon as my voice dropped, I was really conscious of that and being like, yeah, I'm gonna talk like this the whole time. And that's the only way I talk, because I didn't want to be judged for having a high voice. And then that really stuck with me in a bad way. And so I'd notice I'd talk on camera and the whole time I'd be talking like this and it would not sound good. So I had to like unlearn that habit and like put more range into my voice. And I felt it, because when I was talking like that, I felt really somehow caged. I felt like that wasn't me. And it was like, rather than something cool that I was trying to do, it felt like a bottleneck. And it felt like all of my kind of, myself was here, and I had this bottleneck of this voice talking like this, and I couldn't kind of be me. I needed to kind of widen that and widen my range of expression to then feel relaxed and like I can just express myself and talk like a normal person. So you might have the opposite. You might kind of be stuck in your throat or whatever it might be. Voice-wise, when you start talking to camera, watching those videos back, you start becoming aware of what you're doing. Same thing is tics and habits like saying like a lot, scratching, always kind of doing this or kind of doing weird things with your hands. Once you realize all these things, you can start to improve them. And when you start to improve them, that'll also give you more confidence socially because you kind of know how you are. And having that self-awareness, you can kind of start controlling how you express yourself rather than just kind of being who you are and not really knowing what you're doing or how to control anything. So those are the three ways how talking on camera can improve your social confidence. If you are interested in learning how to talk to camera, I've actually got a free one-page cheat sheet PDF in the description where you can kind of print that out and have that whilst you talk to camera and have like the key things that you should be focusing on, both mindset-wise and delivery-wise, that are going to help you talk. And if you are watching this in December 2022, which is like the first week of this video, then I'm also launching a 30-day talking to camera challenge starting on January the 2nd, 2023. So in this New Year's, and the link for that will be in the description below as well. That's going to be an awesome 30-day challenge with a big group of people in a Facebook group where we'll be posting our videos there every day. And it's a super awesome way to learn how to do this because you have that added aspect of group motivation, group encouragement, commitment, all those things to kind of really keep you on track. And it's an amazing way to actually do this with a group. It's kind of like twice as effective as just doing it by yourself. So that's a really cool thing to do as well, if this sounds like a good New Year's resolution for you to have a go at. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep filming, keep talking to camera. Bye-bye.